The San Francisco 49ers have a matchup against their division foes, the Arizona Cardinals, this week in the NFL. I tell you what, on today's show, it's the Bird Watch. Which players from the Cardinals do the 49ers got to keep their eye on? Got a special guest. We're going to break it down right here on the WayneBreezie Show. Let's have some fun, baby.
We so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Red and gold at its finest. We so faithful to the Bay. We so bright that we shining. All we know is the Niners. Red and gold at its finest. We so faithful to the Bay. Yeah.
What's going on, faithful? Ty, I finally got you on here. It's Arizona Cardinals week. It's the fourth. Now, here's something really cool. So every fourth Wednesday, the one and only, the originator, none greater, Mr. Ty is going to be here every Wednesday. And we're going to have some fun because we're going to kick off this Cardinals week and talk a little football about the opponent that we got to play every week. So, Ty, thank you so much for being here, man. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man. Feeling good. You know, it's a victory week, so spirits are high. And, happy to be here, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. You're more than welcome. I see my neighbors calling me, so something must be up. I got to figure out what he needs. But Ty, I love the shirt you got on.
Thank you, man.
Is that a personal design?
It's a personal design. It's up for sale. For anybody who wants to go cop one, just head over to the website, stayfaithful.vip. Get you one, man.
So let's talk about stayfaithful.vip. Let's talk about the Stay Faithful podcast you got going on. Tell everybody else a little bit about your podcast, your idea. I remember you hit me up months ago, maybe like a year ago, telling me you were going to be doing this. And, I still haven't gotten a chance to grace your show with my presence, but I promise I want to. Like, you know what I'm saying? You live near here. But tell everybody about Stay Faithful, man, how you came about doing that podcast.
Yeah, man. I just want to, we're such a big community, and that's what we are. We really are just community. We're not a fan base, right? We're community. When we get together, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're neighbors, we're fam. So I just want to, get out and help meet the fam, right? Sit down, talk a little life, talk a little football, and just have like personal one-on-one discussions. And that's the gist of it, let people be heard, be seen, and just kick it with it, because we're all friends and we all cheer for the same team. So why not just sit down with your friends and just kick it for a little bit and have some interesting discussions?
I like
that's what it's about.
I like that. And so, what's your inspiration? You've had Matt Mayoko on there. Like how did you go about making that happen? Because you're out and about in these streets, bro.
I'm in these streets for real. Nah, it's just reaching out and letting people know what's my idea, what I do, what's my idea. Are they willing to do it? Do they have some time? I don't want to be intrusive. Like, hey, if you can give me 10 to 20 minutes, we can sit down, have a cool chat. That was it. A guy like Matt, if to those who've seen it, they know we met the morning of the NFC Championship game in Philly.
Yes.
And he was like, hey, I'm in Philly, you're in Philly, come through. I was like, bet. So we just made it happen. You know how it is as a content creator. You got to make it happen.
You got to be ready to go on the fly.
You got to be ready to go and make it happen. So when he was like, hey, I'm at this place. If you could come through, we could do it. I was like, have a camera, we'll travel. Let's do it.
I want to say that the editing, the lighting, the film, like I got to step my game up. So I'm going to need to know after we get off the air what kind of camera I need. I'm so like, I just love my phones, but I know it's not the greatest quality, but it's the easiest.
Yeah, exactly.
and so I don't like carrying cameras because I'll break it. Like, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, I hear
like,
you.
I was watching it and I was just like, yo, everything about this, the sound, that like, it's just like top notch
Yeah.
quality. You know,
Yeah, I'm trying to, just bring some value, bring some quality to it, make my guests feel, important,
yeah,
right? Give them their own specific one-on-one cam, close-up cam where it's just them, letting them be seen and be heard. So yeah, we could talk. We could do it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. And I love what you do for the community as well. You're on several different podcasts and you're a great mind of the faithful. And I think people need to know that. And that's why I reached out to you. I was like, listen,
Yeah.
man, how about coming on here? Are you available on Wednesdays? Come on here. Let's talk. Let's talk to the faithful. Let's help them get to know more about the mind of my man of you, Ty. Like I really love talking to you outside. And for those that don't know, he is the creator of the clothing line that we have on the website. So I tell you what, right now I'm rocking the WayneBreezie hoodie. Ty, they don't know on the West Coast that it's hoodie season on the
Nope.
East Coast. Like the
Yep.
temperature dropped 40 degrees
Like that.
just like that. Like God said 40, bam, 40
Yep.
below, bam, right? And so, Ty, I truly appreciate everything you do. Guys, the link is right there at the bottom. It's
Yeah.
ticking
Go
right
cop
there,
that. Yep.
www.twben.com/shop. I don't have any hoodies of the newest apparel that we have. We have 49ers apparel up there as well. There's the CMC shirt. I didn't get that one. That's
This
the
is
cheap
yours. It'll
cheat
be in,
motherfucking
it'll be in the
code.
mail.
Cheat code.
This is yours.
Look, I gotta ask. Any way you could slap that joint on a hoodie? Cause me wearing
Yeah.
tees right now a little tough.
I
It's
know.
it's a little cold. But I tell you what, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. So
I
guys,
got you. I got you.
www.twben.com/shop. And since we're at it and I'm promoting the website, listen, if you want to be a part of the Faithful to the Bay music video where I'm trying to get the 49er community out there, get you guys seen, get you guys heard in the music video for my latest single, Faithful to the Bay, featuring Travis King and Lake City Fresh. Listen, we're going to be out in California, and it's going to be next weekend. So next Saturday, I will be out there. Now, check it out. There are all the details right there. If you go to the website, www.twben.com/RSVP, and you reserve your spot, the first 49 will get a free Faithful to the Bay rally towel. So you'll show up to the game with a rally towel, Faithful to the Bay, designed courtesy by my man Ty, and they're being printed up as we speak. So Faithful to the Bay is going to be at 2206 Business Circle, San Jose, California. The Debo Samuel mural that they did for him last year. We're going to be shooting out there. It's going to be a great time. Ty, unfortunately, you can't make it out there that weekend, but we got to get you a cameo somehow. We got to send me
We'll
a
do
shot.
something in the
Yeah.
future or something.
You
Don't
got
worry.
all the
I'm sure
cameras.
there'll be more videos.
Absolutely. And you know what I'm looking to do? I'm looking to do it every year.
Oh, there you go.
So a new song every year. It's going to be something to look forward to. So we'll pick the
Nice.
game once the schedules come out in May. But guys, check it out, man. I truly would appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Support the brand. All right, Ty, let's get down to some 49ers talk. That's why we're here. We
Yeah.
got some things going on with the Niners. Now, they did sign running back Jeremy McNichols to the
Yep.
practice squad. They released tight end Troy Fumagalli, who I thought was going to somehow get some burn because he had a tremendous preseason.
Preseason, yeah.
Jeremy McNichols had a good preseason as well. He was getting a lot of the bulk of the carries until he got injured. Then they had to release him. What are your thoughts on re-signing a running back to the practice squad and then releasing a tight end? Like, I'm just curious to know what are your thoughts on it?
It's interesting because maybe that shows us a dynamic shift of what they're planning to do for the future. They're always thinking ahead. So, does this mean that they're pretty set in their ways at tight end with who's currently on the roster and, exactly with the four we got? And running back, Could we be moving someone? And they brought in a McNichol who they're familiar with to fill that void at some point.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
The Niners do interesting things. That's
Yeah,
you know,
for sure.
it's you said there's a possibility that they could be moving a back. Um, they've let go several running backs off the practice squad, and they decided to go with the guy that they wanted back here. And if you guys don't know Jeremy McNichols, he's done some time here. He's been
Yeah.
in the system or whatever, whatnot. But again, if you go back and watch the preseason tape, this kid was like, I'm like, who that? Yeah. Like
He was running.
he was running. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I could dig it. And then he ended up getting a little injury or whatever like that. But the release of Troy Fumagalli is interesting. But you brought up a really good point, right? You said that, hey, they just like the four tight ends that they have, and they don't see service of needing an extra tight end. Ross Dwelly has gotten some good snaps. Charlie Warner has been really great in the blocking game, as we've seen. He looks like he's back to his form. And then the rookie, Braden Willis, got snaps last week. Once the 2 minutes hit, 2 minute warning, he was in there on that second tier of that offense. So apparently they like what they saw from Braden Willis, and then you get the signing of Jeremy McNichols. All right, let's talk about hypotheticals, because you talked about possibly moving a running back. Now, people already know what I think, but what does Ty think? Like, if we were to move a running back, all right, who would we be moving? Now, TDP's been inactive.
Yep.
He's been inactive all 3 games, but he did make the 52-man roster, 53-man roster, but he's been inactive all 3 games. Do you think he's the guy that's going to be moved, or do you think it's a different player?
Right now, I put him in as a lead candidate to be moved.
I like that.
I would. Simply because, we know why he's inactive. He doesn't play special teams. What up, Callie? He doesn't play special teams. They like Mason to be that banger at the end of games. So right now he's kind of the odd man out in the rotation, even though I think they like him, right? I think they want to use him, but he's just not fitting with the top 3 right now. So if a running back needy team were to surface, I'm pretty sure they would put him on the table first. Hey, we got TDP, and if you look at his tape, he ran well when he was in there. So
do you think TDP
for you?
Do you think, and I agree, but do you think he gives the 49ers the most value? Because what do you think the Niners are looking for? If they were going to move a running back, are they looking for a running back for the value? Or are they going to look for a running back, like value meaning draft pick, right? So, right, would you get more for TDP? Would you get more for Elijah Mitchell?
You get much more for Elijah Mitchell.
So why not make him that candidate of the
show? Now, this is the reason why Elijah Mitchell would be number 2 on my list to be moved.
Okay.
Right? Because we know he's in the last year of his contract. And we know John Lynch likes to get something for nothing. You on your last year, if he can get something for nothing, hey, that's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
Right?
6th round pick, too, by the way.
Exactly. 6th round pick. But he's shown you can get like a 4th, maybe a 3rd for him if a team's really needy. Because he runs hard with aggression. And he's got speed, he's got strength. He can catch out the backfield. I mean, he is a good back. He's just been a little injury prone. But for right now, he's been healthy. So you can easily move him. We know they like Mason. They got TDP. They just re-signed Nichols. They could keep that thing going. No one's supplanting CMC, so we're just talking about backups here.
Yeah. All right. So TDP, Niners spent a 3rd round pick on him.
Yep.
I don't think they'll get a 3rd round pick or higher back.
No.
The Niners spent a 6th round pick on Elijah Mitchell. I do think they can get a 3rd round pick for him.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how Kyle Shanahan weeks 1 went Christian McCaffrey, period.
Yep.
In week 3, he went Christian McCaffrey, Elijah Mitchell.
Yep.
Now we're thinking, finally, you're getting another back in the rotation. But
Yeah.
what if it was sort of a tryout? Elijah Mitchell didn't have preseason, didn't play. He was dealing with the injury, and then he gets into this game, and now he's not dealing with any injuries,
Right.
right? But what if that was his tryout to put something on a regular season? And I know he's had some
Yeah.
other tape, but what if that was for people to see that he can be durable? Because I thought Kyle used him rather uh, decent in the game. Like
Yeah.
I thought he split the carries and got used. Let me see if I could look up the carries that he had in that game. But like,
Yeah. He was splitting them. He was in there for like a series or two. Like he held CMC back, which was smart to do. CMC
yeah,
just played on Sunday, right? Like,
11 carries, bro, for 42 yards. Christian
yeah.
McCaffrey has 7 more carries
hmm
with 18. So he used them.
So he used them. Yeah, that's a backup number of carries, right?
Yeah,
So he used them. And when he was in there, you heard the pads popping. Dude runs hard. He runs with aggression. So yeah, it's
I
good to
love
put
him.
him out there to show other teams, hey, look, this dude's got it.
I don't want to trade Elijah Mitchell.
I don't either.
I just feel like there might be a team that be like, yo, we give you a third. Because there's some teams that need running backs, like
Yep.
Cleveland. I mean, I
Yep.
know that I know they signed Kareem Hunt, and I know that they're
hmm
gonna rock out with Jerome Ford, but losing Nick Chubb is detrimental,
Huge.
right? And
Huge.
at some point, it's gonna kind of like even itself out. There are other teams out there as well that are gonna need these running backs. The
Yep.
Niners are like literally their stable is loaded.
Yep.
And so, look, I'm not saying he's going to be traded. This is just a
Yeah.
hypothetical. The Niners are adding an extra running back to the
hmm
stable who's going to be in the on the practice squad, and when need to be made available, will be made available. Now, somebody can
Exactly.
sign him off the practice squad, but no
Right.
one was trying to get Jeremy McNichols up until now.
Yep. He's been out there.
Right.
Someone could have been scooped him up.
Right.
And as we know, this is the business of football. It's just what happens.
Facts.
Teams, players get nicked. Teams have a void to fill. They will start calling you. And for all we know, the Niners might have gotten a few phone calls
Good
about
point.
a running back already.
Good
Like,
point.
hey, would so and so be available? So in their mind, they're like, okay, wait a minute, we got some interest. Let's build up our stable so that if this team calls back, we might make a move.
Good point. That's a great point. That's a
Yeah,
great point. And it just sounds like Jeremy McNichols is a guy that Bobby Turner was like, yo, this guy's still out there available.
yeah,
Let's go try to get him and sign him to our practice squad.
yep,
But very good. I think your theories are like pretty much spot on. We will never know why they're
right,
making these moves, but the Niners are they're continually making moves to make sure that they're one ahead of
yep,
their opponents that they play week by week. So it's a weekly thing. The Niners are going to continue to adjust. It's just like
yep,
if you play fantasy football, you're watching the waiver wire and you're
yep.
adding depth and you're
Adding,
releasing
dropping
players.
players,
It's
moving
the
players up and down.
it's the
Yeah,
same thing. Now, don't bother me. Has a I don't know. He says
mm,
I believe we trade Mason before
really
Mitchell.
now.
Well, let's look at the value the
Well,
other way. Let's look
yeah,
at the value that Elijah Mitchell gives the 49ers. Now, I think the fans won't mind trading Elijah Mitchell because they feel he's not durable enough to play
exactly. He
football.
can stay healthy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I think that's that. I think that from a fan perspective, they're ready to move on from Mitchell, but not this fan right here. I mean, like, don't bother me says Mason before Mitchell. What are your thoughts on that?
you know what? It's like we just said. Like I don't want to trade Elijah Mitchell. I really like Elijah Mitchell. Like when he gets in there, it's a different thing. But when Jordan Mason, JP Mason gets in there, it's a different type of animal as well. Because he's that straight up one cut, downhill, knock you out type of runner. And we've seen him in regular season games run with aggression, pick up first downs, bleed out games, get tough yards for us. So he's got some great work on tape as well, which I can see a team looking at him going, you know what, this kid looks like a young Marshawn Lynch a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we can grab him for a cheaper price than an Elijah Mitchell, right? It's the business of football. Like, all right, I don't want to spend a third, but a fourth, fifth, I could come up off, and maybe I could go get this Mason kid who's just in his second year.
And he's financially.
Yeah,
I don't want to say
financially
cheaper.
cheap.
I don't want to say.
Yeah,
I don't
I know,
want to
I
say the
know.
word cheap, but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
fits the financials of the San Francisco 49ers.
very well.
Very well, right?
Very well.
Very well. Hey, and so like, all right. And again, this is all hypothetical. I know people are going to tune into the show.
Yeah.
What in the hell are they talking about?
Yeah,
No, we're
exactly.
talking about the signing of another running back
Yeah,
and the
Talking
releasing
scenarios.
of another releasing of a tight end, right? And so we're trying to figure out what could have been the purpose of signing
Mhm.
another running back, right? So it could mean several things. Now, I like Mason, and I don't think it would be wise to move on from Mason but it's weird. It's weird because out of all the running backs in the stable, Mason is like the ugly duckling. He's the one that just doesn't fit, but he works.
Exactly. He doesn't fit the MO at all.
Not at all. Not as a
At
pass
all.
catcher, not as a
Nope.
run blocker, not as an
Nope.
outside zone guy, not as
Yep.
he doesn't fit, but he works.
He works.
He works. Now, I wonder, Ty, if that was the reason why we drafted Aaron Banks
Mhm.
to be a power, but
Exactly.
also can move. And remember, he didn't play his first year, so maybe his first year was to sit so he could learn that zone scheme.
Exactly.
He came from Notre Dame in that power run scheme, right? So I wonder, maybe that's what Kyle Shanahan is trying to do. He's trying to shift it up, power zone, maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But this is just from what we've seen,
Yeah. Nah,
Interesting.
I believe you're onto something there because we went from speedy backs like
We went-
Mostert and Breida,
Dang.
who
They all
who
gone.
can really take advantage of that outside zone
0 to 100 real quick.
like that. They can hit it, right?
They're gone.
They're gone.
Matter of fact, can we give Raheem Mostert love, or do we want to hate it? Like, how do
Nah, we give him love.
let's give
We
him some
give
love.
him love.
Raheem Mostert, after week 3, has the highest running back grade per PFF. It was Christian McCaffrey.
Yep. But after
That-
Sunday, yeah,
That man could run.
he
4
can run,
touchdowns.
He
Yeah.
still got it.
He still got it.
He overcame those injuries, those nagging injuries the past few years. He's looking real good this season.
Let me ask you this question, because if the Niners, let's say the Niners are trading a running back, and the running back is the guy who's been inactive for the past 3 weeks. Let's say it's TDP. That's the guy you went with first, right? Do you give the front office, meaning general manager John Lynch, Adam Peters, vice whatever, like, do you give them like hell? Because this will be another time they wasted a draft pick on a running back in the 3rd round that they traded.
Yeah.
Is that the MO?
You know what? It's the draft. I give them a pass because you never know what's going to work. And I like to sit back and look at their full body of work. Okay, they missed on, this guy and that guy, but they hit on an Elijah Mitchell. TDP looks like a guy they hit on. They made the trade for a CMC, which is a hit. Right before that, they hit on Mostert. He was great.
They didn't draft Mostert though. That was a free agent signing,
He was
right?
a free, but they still signed him. They still brought him in.
I got
right?
you.
It's still building the running back room.
Right.
So
you giving them a pass.
Kudos. Yeah, I give them kudos for identifying the talent and bringing them in.
Yeah, but when they draft the talent in the 3rd round, they're not hitting.
That's true.
Wait, Joe Williams was a 3rd round pick too. That was Kyle's first draft.
Another one. Yep. Another one.
I don't think they should just don't draft running backs. Draft kickers.
Like they did this year, right? Stay away.
You could
from
draft a kicker in the 3rd round, but don't draft a running back in the 3rd.
Exactly. Get them later in the draft, like you did Elijah Mitchell, and hit on those guys.
Yeah. Yeah, Chip did bring Mostert
It was
in,
Chip. That's right. He inherited him.
but
Yeah.
again, he was
But he was like on the practice squad. He
yeah,
was
because
out of sight,
Mostert
out
had.
of mind.
I think Mostert played for like 7 teams before he came to the Niners or something like that. I
Yep.
know Eagles was one,
Yep.
a couple of other teams at that time,
Yeah.
but Mostert was brought in by Chip Kelly.
It
All
was
right,
Kyle who gave him that push to be like, all right,
Kyle knew how to use him.
exactly. I got this scheme and you can work in it.
I
You
agree.
just got to work.
I agree. Listen,
Yeah.
I'm curious to know what the Niners. I don't know what I would do there. I would be like, okay, kudos to what you do in the draft. But the 3rd round pick I mean, I think the only 3rd round pick they've really hit on is Fred Warner.
Yeah.
So the 3rd round is not a good pick.
Nope.
And maybe possibly we'll see how Jair Brown pans out,
Right.
and Jake Moody seems to be working
He's working thus far.
So
let's keep that going. Fingers crossed.
Wow. So maybe they just. My thing is, don't draft running backs in the 3rd round. You can draft anything else you want. You could draft.
Don't draft running back.
You could draft cooks. You can draft chefs. You could
Exactly.
draft, automobile salesman.
Water
You could,
boy.
yeah,
whatever.
water boy. You could draft anything you want, but do not draft a running back. And I think that's Kyle Shanahan's. But why? So my question is why? Why did they do it twice? It was Trey Sermon and then it was TDP. So why do it? If you know you can get a 6th round pick, or even worse or better, however you want to look at it, an undrafted free agent to come in here and be successful, why draft a running back?
Yeah. I don't get it. I don't know.
To trade him later for less than what you draft for.
Yeah. I love to be a fly on the wall in that draft room.
You keep
understand
doing
the
those
thought process.
Keep doing those interviews with Matt Mayoko, and you might just be a fly in the wall filming that room. Yeah, like you keep doing what you do. All right, so that's just the latest in 49ers news. I'm sorry if we took too long on that, but I wanted to talk about the scenarios. Deebo Samuel ribs, he's still day to day. Is Deebo playing this week? What are your thoughts, man? Is Deebo gonna play this week? Is he gonna?
I think he'll be out there. He's just Deebo. I mean, after he hurt his ribs, he still played. Right? It wasn't like he was gone for the game. I think he'll be out there. Maybe they use him on a limited, scenario basis. But I think if he's like breathing, if he can go, he's out there. They'll give him a flap jacket. He'll look extra puffy, but he'll go.
How effective will Deebo be if his ribs are hurting?
You know what? As a pass catcher, I think he'll be all right.
As the way he's an aggressive runner.
He's an aggressive runner, but he's still he's a threat on the outside.
Yes.
He's established himself as a threat on the outside.
Yes.
So you can still use him that way.
Janky, I like that.
And, do the other things. Exactly.
This is the best. I'm gonna go watch Karate Kid right after this. I don't know what he did to Hill Danielson. All I know is I smell like burnt. It smells burnt when you rub your hands together. But whatever Mr. Miyagi did, I'm with you, bro. Got to get him to see Deebo. Rest in peace to the actor who played Mr. Miyagi.
Exactly.
Yo, that's. Look, I want Deebo to. I wanted Brandon Ayuk to play last week, but apparently they saying it was a shoulder. It looked more like a neck injury, but they saying it was a shoulder injury. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with what they saying. I'm just telling you what it looked like. I'm telling you what he grabbed first. Yeah. But he didn't play, but he did. He's practicing this week, so that's perfect, right? So now you're getting Ayuk back. You saw this surge of Ronnie Bell.
Mm-hmm.
Would this be the game that Deebo gets a chance to take off? That's my point. They let Ayuk off one game, so will they let Deebo off? So just to make sure his ribs don't need extra barbecue sauce.
Right. It's a difference between a short week and a long week, though.
This was a long week, Ty.
This is a long week.
Spot on.
So he's got extra time to heal and get out there, right? And you can use him in ways where you're not endangering that. Don't give him any handoffs. You don't need to. Let him be on the outside. Let him be that guy that's running deep, doing the clear outs for the guys underneath, right? And maybe you only play him, 15 to 20 snaps, and you work in Ronnie Bell a little more because they got to have some confidence in Ronnie Bell, man.
Okay,
With what
now
he did in the preseason,
we
and he
talking
showed out
now.
last game.
This
Like,
is why I like this. This
like
is why I wanted to do
Ayuk,
this.
you out. I got your back. I
Ooh.
got your back.
Mm-hmm.
And we know what they're saying. GYB. That's what they all about.
I got your back.
And
Okay,
he had it.
let's get to this matchup, right? Niners
Oh
plus
yeah.
14. We're going to start talking 49ers, Arizona Cardinals. It's going to be lit. First of all, this is a division game. You just said some stuff to me. Now, this is a division game. This isn't, you're not playing
Right.
the New York Football Giants, which is a conference game. You're not playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, which is an out of the conference game.
Yep.
You're not. This is a division game. This game can be like the Rams game. Like it can come down to you finding a way, just to kick a field goal to make a game-winning field goal type of game. Just because of the damn team names, not because of the head coach. It's just the way that the football gods allow the NFC West to play in any other divisional game, right? So let me ask you this: long week. Debo, he must play in this game, right? Because it's a division game. If it was a different game, like if we were playing the Cowboys, which he got to play. If we were playing any other team other than the Cowboys or a divisional game, I think I would be okay with letting Debo sit out a game. But we're talking the Arizona Cardinals. How important is this game for the 49ers to win?
It's very important. It's a divisional game early in the season. You want to establish something in the division, right? You want to leave no doubt. You want to make sure they know last year wasn't a fluke. And we're fighting for not just the one seed in the division, but the conference.
Mm-hmm.
So being that they just beat Dallas, this gives us a leg up, right? When they start at the end of the year, when they start to look at common opponents and, who faced who, all that good stuff, this is important. So it's definitely a game on the calendar that you circle, and you got to bring your A game.
Would you consider this game being like a trap game for the 49ers?
No, I don't believe it is. Because say what you will about the Cardinals, but we know the scenario that they're tanking, blah blah blah. But they've been playing hard this season.
They have been. They've been playing hard.
They've been playing hard. Things haven't gone their way up until last week, but they have been playing hard.
Yeah.
Right? And and their head coach, we know he comes from Philly. He brought some dogs from Philly with him. We all saw the video of him talking smack about us last season. He was in Philly then. But we know he wants to win.
Who he bring from Philly? I'm looking, and I don't see.
A few people.
Who he bring from Philly? Because I'm looking, and I don't see nobody from Philly. To me, they lost their best defensive player who's on the IR. That's Budda Baker. Jonathan Gannon is a defensive guy. So I expect him to find a way to get Zaven Collins involved. That's their edge rusher. Yep. So and then they got a couple of rookies out there. They got a few rookies out there, to be honest with you. But I'm trying to figure out who's from Philly. I don't see anybody from Philly, but I could be wrong.
One or two people. Maybe I was wrong.
No, I'm just saying. Here's the thing. Whoever he brought from Philly, to me, is a non-factor.
Yeah. They were, and that's the thing. They were like no name, second, like.
He brought the
second
DB.
Tier guy.
Wallace.
Yeah. There you go.
Again, non-factors.
Second tier guy. Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Second unit guy.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Kayvon Wallace. That's who we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Who is the safety? He's a safety. He's backing up Jalen Thompson. So look, all I'm saying is, they do got a few 49er players on here. They got some players that I met at the Senior Bowl too, but oh well. But they got Quantrez Knight, who's fourth on the depth chart at the cornerback position. But look, all I'm saying is when I think of the Cardinals, here's what the Cardinals do, right? And Nigel says don't sleep on the birds, and I like that, right? Because we're not sleeping on them.
No.
Oh, Kaiser White from Philly, he ended the game with the interception.
Kaiser White, he was from Philly, yeah. He's their leading tackler right now.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, he is. Um, let me. That's their middle. Yeah, I mean he's their middle linebacker.
He's middle. Yeah.
Yeah, get him to cover Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah, let's get him to cover Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, right? I know that their defense is shaping into the identity that Jonathan Gannon sees fit. He's trying to rebuild that what he had in Philly. It's going to take
Yep.
him a little
Oh
time.
yeah.
So they're not there yet,
They're
right?
not there at all.
And without Buda Baker, I just don't see their defense being top echelon or whatever.
No.
I don't care what their ranking is in stopping the run. They still haven't played a top 5 rushing attack. And the Niners are 3.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So I do want to give them. I don't want to sleep on them. I like that. I think that was a great comment from Nigel. This is not about sleeping on them,
No.
but it's more about this. This episode is about us being aware that they do have some players, and this is what I love because that's what we're doing. We're
Yeah.
going through their depth chart. We're going through their roster. We're going through who played. We're gonna make you aware. And Ty has some players that he's been watching. Like Ty has some players that he's been watching. Now, before we get into that, I do want to say that offensively, that's not Jonathan Gannon's strength.
No.
And they're going to be playing a top tier offense and defense. And so when I'm thinking about Jonathan Gannon, and I'm saying to myself, okay, you got that game on the 49ers, but they have still not experienced a healthy Brock Purdy.
No.
And
At
they
all.
and the Cardinals don't have anywhere near the talent of that Philadelphia Eagles defensive team. So
No.
I'm not saying I'm not worried. I expect the Arizona Cardinals to do one thing: start fast.
Yep.
I expect them to speed the game up. I expect them to play fast. I expect them to fly around to the ball. I expect on offense for them to get things going. I expect a lot of quick throws. I expect all of that. And so the Niners, in my opinion, have to figure out how to negate it and slow them down. Because when they start fast, they get leads, but usually they don't sustain the leads. They only did it in one game, and that was against the Cowboys.
Yep. And
So
they ran right through them.
they ran right. Yeah, they held on to the lead and then held on. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? All right, Ty, which players from Arizona do we need to keep our eye on?
So first on my list, believe it or not, is James Conner.
James Conner.
James Conner runs hard,
Very hard.
and he's had success against us in the past. So I can see them trying to establish him early, try to get him going, and trying to do some things. Right? Now, like we just mentioned, they ain't play a front like ours, though.
Correct.
It's a totally different beast going up against our front versus a Dallas or someone else, you know?
And talking about James Conner, I do want to talk about. I want to give you guys the stats. So as you give us the context, I'll give everybody the stats. Is that cool?
Yeah. Perfect.
So James Conner best game against the 49ers was in 2021, where he had 96 rushing yards off of 21 attempts. He was averaging 4.6 yards a carry. Now I'm not going to talk about our defense that year, but that was his breakout game. Last year, he only played in one game. He didn't do the Mexico City game. I don't think he did the other one. So,
injured.
yeah. So, no, he did do the Mexico City game.
Oh, that's when he was in?
I don't remember. He played on November 21st. He had 42 rushing yards off of 14 attempts, averaging 3 yards. He did end up with a touchdown, so he was effective, but the score was non-existent. I think we won that game like 38-10 or 38-13. Yeah, and that was the one was with Brock Purdy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just don't see. Now that was then. This is now, but the Niners, to me, his career, he's played the 49ers 4 times, so there's a 25% chance he'll go ape shit against the Niners. Like literally, he only did it once. That's all I'm trying to say. Like, so I think the Niners, he has 58 carries for 210 yards and 5 touchdowns. The touchdowns be happening around the goal line, which to me is something
Right.
that the Niners defense need to work on in the red zone as well as the offense.
Yep.
So please continue. I just wanted to give the stats.
Nah, I agree. But, he's a guy we can't sleep on because he is a veteran back, is not afraid to get in there, get dirty, and just grind out some yards, which I can see them going to because, we're talking Josh Dobbs isn't going to light up the air on us. If that happens, we'll all be scratching our heads like, what the F is going on?
True.
Right?
True.
Right.
Stop that run. Period.
Stop that run.
Stop
Yep.
the run. Period.
Stop the run and have some fun. A guy to keep an eye on is Marquise Brown.
Speed, man.
And we know speed kills. And I see they've been moving him around, trying to get him in the slot.
I see it, bro. I see it.
Trying to get him on some mismatches with that speed.
I see it.
It could be like, are they trying to get him on a one-on-one with Fred Warner, who we know can run? But Marquise Brown could run. Like,
the Niners can't let that happen. But
Exactly. So Steve Wilson's got to adjust to that. And we'll see how they handle that. So that's going to be something for me to watch. Like, all right, where is he and where is he lining up?
that's it. You know what? Hollywood Brown is, man, he could potentially be an X factor. They got 3 guys that I would kind of, their wide receiver. Their wide receiver core is something that you might want to kind of like circle because you got to pay attention to, because the one thing that they have is speed.
Yep.
And so Brown, Rondell Moore,
Yep.
And then people keep sleeping on Greg Dortch.
Yeah.
But that's another speedy little motherfricker, yo. Like,
Yep. And like when we played them before, all you kept hearing was his name, like
Greg freaking Dortch, yo.
Yep.
Lining up in the backfield. Here's Greg Dortch.
Like,
listen, you know what? Damn it. I didn't think they had too many players, but now that I'm starting to think about it, they got some players. We watching. We got a bird watching. Yeah.
Keeping an eye on them dirty birds down there over there in Arizona. Like, they got some things working. I think they tried to build their receiver core like Miami built theirs. And like trying to just use the speed kills factor, right? And if there's a bust, we know they're going to take off. What up, Aaron?
What's up, Aaron?
My guy.
All right, so we got James Conner, Marquise Brown.
Yep.
Who else you got?
I got Kazir White on defense.
Kazir freaking White. So look,
Yep.
What about Kazir White? Other than he's their leading tackler, nice linebacker. What are your thoughts on him? Like, what are you worried about?
He's just flying around making plays, right?
18 solo tackles. He has a sack as well, and an interception.
He's flying around making plays. He's got a nose for the football. So whenever you got a guy like that and he's leading the defense, like he's trying to be like Fred Warner, that just guy that's all over the place, right? So he's the only guy that I really fear on defense. That I can say, all right, he might be a problem, but he's got to deal with our problems, and we got a ton of them. So, but you got to keep an eye on him on what impact he may have on the game.
Okay. Last week we played against the Giants. The Giants had a linebacker that was on every play.
I freaking number 41. What was his name?
Freaking Fadden. I will never forget McFadden's name, bro. This dude was looking like a 2023 version of Chris Borland, bro. Like he was everywhere. He was the one that broke up the touchdown on Christian McCaffrey in the end zone.
Yes, dude was everywhere, doing everything. It was like we were looking at each other like freaking 41 again. Yeah,
40 freaking. And here's my thing though. So like, do you think White presents that same type of a problem for the 49ers? Like, is White going to be able to cover Christian McCaffrey? Because I guarantee you, Brock going to throw that pass again. If you get Christian McCaffrey on a linebacker, you throw it to him every single time.
Every time. Yeah, take that. And you know what? It was a great ball from Brock. Could have been caught. So I'm taking it. I think they will do that. And I'm counting on my guy to win the matchup.
Right. Win that one-on-one.
CMC is going to win that one-on-one.
Wow. This is an interesting stat from Always Drip 805. 49ers haven't lost at home since that Chiefs game.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, we haven't lost, period, since that Chiefs game. Unless you count the NFC Championship game.
Unless you count the NFC Championship game. Okay.
But regular season.
Yeah.
And we know that Chiefs game was the turning point. When everybody in the locker room looked at each other and looked at themselves and was like, we're too good for this BS.
All right. You got 3 players. You got any more?
Yep. I got one more.
Okay.
Matt freaking Prater.
Yes. The freaking kicker.
Yep,
yes, he can. Listen.
Yo. The thing is, all right, our defense, we could give up some plays here and there. Boom, boom, boom. They get into our 45-yard line and we stop them. It's like, all right, we got him. Nope.
50.
They might bring this dude in to kick something.
Right. 57 last week?
He had one from 57 and long was like 62.
Did he hit a 62 last week?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he boomed a 62.
Yeah, look that up, bro, because I know he has the longest kick so far this year.
Mm-hmm.
It was 62. You were right. That sucks. That sucks for the 49ers defense because they'll force the 3 and out, but he kicking it. They gonna put him in.
That's what I mean. You know how our defense we'll stop you midfield. We'll hold you down. No more, right?
60.
And then it's like this dude turned running on the field like Metro Boomin wants some more.
Right. I remember when he was I think he was a Lion and he couldn't kick for nothing.
No. Like, where'd this come from?
Yo. Shade, you right.
I was just about to say the same thing. Somebody need to drug
He
test
too
him,
old to
real.
be kicking 62-yard field goals, man.
Exactly.
That's for the young bucks.
Young man. He been around a bit. Like, where'd this come from?
I don't know. I don't know. But
splitting the uprights, like, what's going on?
The funny thing is, if you didn't say it, I was gonna say him. So I'm so glad that me and you are in sync. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I was definitely gonna say him. Because I'm like, yo, that means we gotta make sure they don't even see their side of the 50.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Okay. And there you go. Listen, I like those 4. I'm gonna add a couple more. Listen, don't let Zach Ertz heat up. And so, like, here's the thing, like, when it comes to Zach Ertz, right? He's an old man's tight end, but he's still effective. And I'm expecting that to be Josh Dobbs' number 1 target because I feel like the 49ers are going to cover well. They're going to play over the top again. They're not going to get beat deep, so they're not going to get beat by Hollywood Brown speed. If they get beat by speed, it's going to be off of a slant route or something like this. So the guys got to make sure that they wrap and tackle the personnel that's going to be out there on the football field. I know I talk about Josh Dobbs, but I will say this. He's playing really efficient football. He has 0 turnovers this year.
Yeah. I had him. I was considering him, but I'm like, he hasn't played against a team like us, though.
That is true.
So it's a question mark. Like, how will he handle our pressure?
That is true.
What we do, right?
That is like, 100% correct. Like, he's going to get pressured.
Yeah.
Speaking of pressure, make sure you guys are voting. We have which 49ers defender will lead the team in total pressures in Week 4 versus the Cardinals. Your choices: Nick Bosa, Javon Hargrave, Javon Kinlaw, Eric Armstead. Now, I will say this. I had a comment earlier that I starred from Big Heck, and he was like, the fact that Kinlaw has 0 votes is freaking hilarious. And I wanted to point that out, Big Heck, because now he has 3% of the votes, which is still 0 to me.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how the person on the team with the third most pressures has that minimum votes.
Yep.
So I gotta think like he has 10 pressures. There's only 3 people on the Niners that have double digit pressures. Eric Armstead, someone did ask about Pocket the Cheesecake, asked about Drake Jackson. Drake Jackson has 9. I just
Hmm.
feel like him and Armstead are tied. So it only gave me 4 options. So I just picked Armstead from the
Yeah.
interior. But yeah. So Josh Dobbs would be one of mine. Zach Ertz would be another one. And if I had to pick a defensive player, what did I do with that daggone depth chart? Did I get rid of it?
Did you
I
do
think
their edge rusher or
I did Zayvon Collins, yo.
Collins? Yeah, him going
I
up against McGlin. I was about to say
Colt
McGlinchey.
McKivitz.
Colt McKivitz. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, he's not in the tier of TJ Watt,
No.
but he can be a menace.
Yeah.
He can be a freaking menace.
Yeah.
I like Zayvon Collins. I liked him coming out of college. I didn't like the
Hmm.
fact that they took him and Isaiah Simmons,
Right.
who's no longer on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be those would be my 3 watches, my bird watches for this game. Let's talk about some predictions, man. Give me some predictions you have going for this game, and not just the score predictions, but like scenario predictions.
Scenarios. Okay. So one, I see them stopping the run completely
Like just eliminate it, right? Just take it out.
because they haven't faced a front like ours. And if you think you're just going to bang in there and just get tough yards, you're going to have another thing coming. Like when you face that rectangle, well, that square of Armstead, Hargrave, Greenlaw, and Warner, you're not getting much. And if we make that a triangle and bring in Kinlaw for that 5-man front, you're really not getting anything, right? I don't see them using Josh Dobbs to run much. I think even if they do, we can contain him because we contained freaking Jalen Hurts in the NFC Championship game.
They
They
did.
had a solid game plan for that. And I know it's a different regime. Steve Wilkes is there, but Steve Wilkes has seen it all. And he's been on point with his calls lately. I mean, this season. The way he's been dialing up when to bring in that 5-man line, when to do something different. He's been on point. So I'm going to give him his kudos.
I like that. My man Shades by Shardo's here. He says, Breezy, I'm going to be talking about Michael Wilson. Listen, Mike Wilson may be their Puka Nakua.
Yeah.
Like, I just expect the Niners to take out, and I told they're 2 different receivers, but if the Niners are going to play off coverage, this might be the guy that's going to get the targets.
Yeah.
And so I expect him to take out Hollywood Brown. Rondale Moore's not a wide receiver where he's the trick play guy.
Yeah, he's the
So Rondale Moore's the speed out of the backfield. He's the Debo Samuel with the ball in his hand. And Dortch, who they said didn't even play against Dallas, he played well against the Niners, even though they still got beat. They may, light him up and allow him to go. So, like, you might be right. It may be Michael. It may be Michael. Michael Wilson. Is he the Stanford kid? Can't remember.
It might be, but there is that one guy that they'll pick out. All right, they won't be expecting him, and if we do play soft, he'll be the guy to come underneath and get those soft catches, right? Until Wilkes says, "All right, enough of that. Man up and clamp them down."
Right.
Then we got
Wilkes
a different scenario.
He makes the adjustments. You're right. He
Yeah.
makes the adjustments.
Yeah.
Daryl Wilson over on Facebook. Shout out to Darrell. Is it Darrell Wilson
Darrell or
Jr.?
Darryl, yeah.
Right. Who do you think will have a 100-yard game this week? So who do you think is going to have a 100-yard game this week?
Well, we know CMC is an automatic 100.
All-purpose 100 though, because he didn't rush for 100 yards last week. I was a little tight. I was tight. Not at him, just because Kyle stopped using him.
Kyle, he spelled them, which was smart to do.
Yeah,
so
I was tight.
That. Yeah,
I was tight.
Right. But I got Brandon Ayuk going off on this game.
You got Ayuk, okay?
I got Ayuk coming back. feeling fresh legs. I got him going off.
I like that.
Like
I,
who are they going to get to guard him?
yeah, yeah. Well, no. I mean, I like Marco Wilson. I like their corners are decent, but
Yeah,
they're gonna get routed up.
but exactly. And you know, there's levels to this, and IU is
Right,
on a different level this year.
right. Now, my theory is it's gonna be a George Kittle game because for some reason George Kittle just averages like 2 touchdowns against the Cardinals.
He's a Cardinal killer.
He's a Cardinal killer.
Just like Debo is a Ram killer.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
George Kittle is a Cardinal killer.
He's a Cardinal killer, and you
Right.
need that. That's kind of what's
Yeah.
cool. Who's the Seahawk killer?
Who's the Seahawk killer? That's a good one.
I
Do
feel
we
like
have one yet?
no. I feel like we don't
No,
we don't
have
kill
one.
him. We just try to beat the
He's
Seahawks
trying to beat him by any means necessary.
by any means necessary.
That's it.
It is what it is. Nobody.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
it's that is so funny, right?
Yeah.
Like Debo owns the Rams, Kittle owns the Cardinals,
Cardinals.
and collectively we just get past the Seahawks. Is
Yeah.
it big play, Dre? It was when Russell Wilson was there.
Yeah.
I will say
Yeah.
that.
He was a killer. Yeah,
Everybody
he
is
didn't-
saying it's
he didn't
Greenlaw.
take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying it's Greenlaw. So
Kittle did kill him in Seattle last year.
yes.
You remember he had 2 big touchdowns.
He had the 2 big touchdowns.
Yep.
So it could be Kittle.
Could be Kittle.
But it's
Could be a
it's
combination of the two.
inconsistent, bro. Like
Right. Exactly. It's not consistent.
It's not a consistent kill. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like I
like
hate to
Debo
say the
and the
word kill.
Rams.
I feel like
Yeah.
YouTube gonna watch this. They say kill a little bit too many times. Somebody give me a different word. Damn it. I don't know. Let's end this poll because I think they still voting though, but everybody's going with Nick Bosa with the most pressures in this game.
Mhm.
I think Nick Bosa gets the most sacks in this game. I think you're gonna get pressure from others. Now, people are killing me because I left Drake Jackson off this list. So let's talk about Drake Jackson and his role is limited with the Niners. I mean, his snaps are limited, but he does get utilized properly. Does Drake Jackson have a big game? Haven't heard his name much since week 1 with the 3-sack game. Still leads the 49ers in sacks.
Yep.
So it's Jackson, it's Hargrave, and then it's all the 1-sack guys.
See, I'm thinking from a sack perspective.
Mm-hmm.
This is the game where the ends are going to make their presence known.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see Bosa going off and a Drake Jackson, because I think from what we've seen, if they were smart, they would focus on stopping that pressure up the middle. Because Gravedigger and Armstead, they are too much to handle, right?
Yes.
So it's like, all right, let's stop them and hope that buys us an extra second with the guys on the outside. And I don't think that's going to buy them that extra second.
That's what I love because the pressure's from the left and from the right. I think the pressure, whichever side Bosa lines up, the pressure is strong.
Yep.
And then it's strong up the middle.
Yep.
I think that's why Eli Manning, Daniel Jones didn't run.
No.
He wasn't. That wasn't part of the game plan because he was going to get killed. I'm going to change the word. Kilt. K-I-L-T.
Kilted.
Kilted. Like literally, I wonder if the Cardinals though will think the same thing because all they got really is Dobbs.
Yeah.
And then they got Clayton Tune from Houston, from college. They drafted him. So look, I don't know. I like your picks for the Bird Watch. I think everybody's gonna be like, okay, I heard that name. Gonna make sure I keep an eye on them. And so it's gonna be an interesting game. Give me a score prediction from you, bro.
Okay. So I got this one 33-15.
I gotta ask how you got to 15 points because
Matt Prater kicking 5 field goals.
That's why I had to ask. The first thing that came to my mind is we gave up a safety, and I'm like, oh hell no.
Nope. I got Matt Prater just out there kicking for his life right now. Hey,
listen, you better start Matt Prater this week in fantasy football. Pick
Prater,
him
man.
up. This is the week. This is the week.
Got Matt Prater. Pick him up.
This is the week. Always drip 805. It's the Lions and the Packers.
Yep.
They play on Thursday Night Football. Jordan Love and Jared Goff.
Yep.
All right. Listen, Ty, I want my guests to always close us out. So I'm gonna let you close out and take them away. Make sure you let everybody know where they can follow you again and take us home.
Yeah, my personal accounts is at Mr. Ty Alston. I'm on everything. The podcast is the Stay Faithful podcast. It's at Stay Faithful VIP. Just check me out everywhere and take us home, through rain, sleet, or snow. It's red and gold till we dead and cold. Go Niners.
Go Niners.
I be sipping gold bar, whiskey on the rocks, and a 24 karat gold on a watch. My 7-1 Chevy be tipping non-stop, sounding like Trent Williams on the block. So you know we can't stop, we be banging through your speakers. WayneBreezie on the field or in the bleachers. You can tune into my show and I'm a teacher. WayneBreezie, the 4-9 preacher.